They wanted to fire her because she was old and poor, but what happened next left everyone speechless. Mrs. Teresa got up every day before the sun to go work at a restaurant. She lived in a humble, simple house, and every morning she repeated the same prayer: Jesus, give me strength to keep working for my purpose. No one at the restaurant knew much about her. They only knew she was older, always dressed modestly, and worked hard as if she had no other option. She was a waitress, helped in the kitchen, swept the floors, but to many she was just the poor lady who had been there for years. The employees would talk behind her back. I don't understand why she hasn't retired yet. She's always wearing the same clothes. Doesn't she have anything else to wear? I heard she lives in a tiny old house. Mrs. Teresa heard everything but never responded. She just pressed her lips, lowered her gaze, and kept working, as if it didn't hurt, but it did hurt. One day a new assistant manager arrived, young, ambitious, the kind who wants to impress the boss. When she saw Mrs. Teresa, she asked, "And this lady? Does she always dress like that? Why is she still working here if she can't even move fast anymore?" Mrs. Teresa smiled as always and kept cleaning the tables, but the assistant didn't let it go. She went straight to the restaurant owner, a well-dressed man who was always around, overseeing everything. "Matthew, with all due respect, this lady can't keep up anymore. This place needs a good image. We have to fire her." Matthew was silent for a moment, sighed, and said, "Do what you think is right." The next day, in front of everyone, the assistant told Mrs. Teresa, "We regret to inform you that we no longer require your services. Your image does not represent the values of this restaurant." Some employees looked down. Others silently felt satisfaction, but no one said anything. Mrs. Teresa didn't respond either. She just took off her apron and folded it calmly. And before leaving, she looked at Matthew. He stopped her. "Wait." She turned to the employees and then to the assistant and said, "Before you make the biggest mistake of your life, there is something you need to know. This restaurant isn't mine. It belongs to her." Everyone froze. The assistant barely whispered, "What? But why never say it before?" "Because I didn't come here looking for recognition. I came to fulfill a promise. Many years ago, my son and I lived in poverty. His father abandoned us, and I barely could give him something to eat. He always wore the same shoes, worn and torn. I could never buy him new ones. One day he got sick, and because I had no money for medical care, I lost him. That day I promised God that if I ever got back on my feet, I would do everything possible so that no child would have to go through the same. With the help of Jesus and the little savings I had, I opened this restaurant. But not to get rich, to create a foundation for children in need, where no one goes hungry and where no child walks barefoot like my son." The assistant, with tears in her eyes, asked, "And why do you still live in such a poor neighborhood? Why do you dress like that?" Mrs. Teresa smiled. "Because I don't care about wearing warm clothes or expensive shoes, as long as every child in my foundation has food, clean clothes, and new shoes." Mrs. Teresa didn't need applause. She only needed to keep her promise and love as Jesus taught her. How many times do we judge without knowing the story behind it? Share what you learned from Mrs. Teresa and pass this message to someone who needs it.